Animal consciousness, animal instincts. Let's talk about it. Very interesting topic. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Afternoon.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So we have Claudia who had a session with Katerina or Joanna with Anastasia, but we have a sponsor too. The sponsor is not here because it's not available right now. Okay, we understand, and let's talk about it. So the first thing is just to ask the question. The first question to start the conversation, the analysis. First of all, the question is all the same question for you all. The first one, Claudia Bulgario. What was the information, the best information, the more interesting information you got from this session? Even though you had a person in hypnosis, underwent hypnosis or not, it doesn't matter. Just in your experience as a support. And after that, Joanna, Katerina, and Anastasia. Please, Claudia, tell me.
Thank you, Carlo. Um, it was very interesting, our session with Katerina. Yes, me, underwent in hypnosis, and this gave me the occasion to experience from a different level what I was already knowing on a rational mind, let's say, perspective. Um, what impressed me, what touched me, was the fact that the animal consciousness, uh, even if, let's say, it is a more instinctive or on a collective soul, let's say, collective subliminal part, still has kind of degrees of consciousness. Even if all the animals, all the species are feeling, perceiving things, still they can differ from each other. For example, an octopus or a dog or another animal will feel different, will have a different maybe complexity in memory or other things. So I was seeing this like a spectrum with different levels, different even among the animal consciousness. That was very interesting to me, because before, on a mental level, I was thinking, okay, animal consciousness, it's only one thing and that's it. It's a general field, collective, and that's it. No, it's actually even more complicated, complex. Yes. We don't hear you, Carlo.
You're on mute.
Okay.
You're not telepathic, no? Okay. So I connect my microphone. So thank you for information. Very interesting, Claudia. And you, Joanna, same question for you.
So, yes, Anastasia perceived that animals have an individual consciousness and a collective one that are both linked. Their instincts come from the collective consciousness. Animals are, of course, less complex than us humans. They are more based on feelings, more based on emotions, that they're using their mental body less than we do. So, not as much as we do. They
Animals,
trust
no?
animals,
Animals.
yes, yes. They don't use their mental body as much as us humans.
Mhm.
They trust more their perceptions. They see more, they feel more, and where we humans are more attached to the material world. For domestic animals, the level of consciousness of the owner can create vulnerabilities in the animal's energetical field
Mhm.
and can create attachments, can create strings and interferences that are not beneficial for either one.
Yes, I think so. Yesterday we talked about this in the Spanish live,
Mhm.
because in the Spanish live there were many people just owners of animals, so they looked as a positive interaction with the animals, the dog, the cat. Uh, Positive, I don't know. Maybe they can stay good with you, very in a good life with you, but I don't know. Is the interaction if really positive? So let's talk about this. But now, thank you for the information. Very interesting information, Joanna. And you, Katerina, what about you? Your session.
in my session, the most important for me and for shared information is that the animal, if the human being are with the interferences, the animal can be used like tools to learn lessons. It was most impressive information. That's like seems that this one animal consciousness decide how dispatch the animals on Earth or in a situation, maybe in the family, in relation with an individual, depending on needs. And but if you are not interfered with interferences, then you have no more lessons to learn, and then your um, relationships with your animals is completely different. It's like a real exchange of energy, a real experimentation of unconditional love.
You mean animals teach humans? This is the
Yeah, it
yeah?
was like information during this session that animals can be like a mirror or reflect to
Exactly, like a mirror.
yourself something you must going to search inside to you, and then sometimes your relationships with your animal, if you are interfered with the interferences, you are not free,
Mhm.
can be like conflictual, like
Mhm.
really not good relation, and you don't understand why me I have this dog, why me I have this cat, but it's maybe because you must learn a lesson if you are not free and aware about that you are a creator, and it's everything is about us. I understood that.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about
Was
this too. Of course, interesting. And finally, Anastasia, what about you?
Yes, I think the girls all said
Anastasia,
almost
I
everything
think
that
your microphone is
Micro-
the external one. Yes. Can you configure it?
it.
Yes, it's external. Yeah.
Go on settings
Sorry.
here
Yes.
on the stream. Found it?
Is it okay now?
Okay, now
Yes.
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the girls said already most of the information that came out in the investigation, but what was the most interesting for me is seeing actually this, what Ioana was saying, the influence of the level of consciousness of the owner on the animal and in their relationship, in how if the owner seeks more salvation, if I can say it like that, from the outside, then it reflects also in the relationship with the animal, and it can create a toxic kind of vacuum of energy. And if the level of consciousness of the owner is more evolved, I would say, then their energies are more in a co-living kind of situation than rather than codependent. And one more interesting thing is Ioana asked me what is the most connected animal with the metaphysical. I think it was something like that. And I think it's funny that what I perceived is a dolphin and then a cat in the second place.
In the cat.
That was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Uh, the dolphin is a very intelligent animal and very with a very level of consciousness. I mean, auto consciousness, because the majority of the animals have not this auto consciousness. If you take an animal, just one, you put this animal in front of the mirror, the animal think that the image on the mirror is another animal, is another one. He doesn't recognize himself. But in some animals, this is not the reality. But just in a few animals, for example, the dolphins, the elephants, of course, monkeys and all the species of the monkeys, horses, and I don't remember now, but just it. The dog, for example, the dog doesn't recognize himself the first time. Neither the second or the third one. It depends. But the dog is very intelligent, so can learn that the image in the mirror is not another dog. It's just himself, but just he needs to learn it because at the first sight, the dog can understand it's another dog. So in base of the character of the dog, the situation can just escape or just to smell or something like that, for example. So what is the difference? The human being is just an auto-reference individuality. You know who you are, of course. And maybe just at the first months of your life in the human being, the baby cannot recognize the memory himself. It's very different to understand this, but the sciences thinks that in the first months he cannot do it. But just in a very young age, just a human being, a little baby can recognize himself, of course, because human has this high level of consciousness and auto consciousness. So the animal, when a being can evolve, it's just in this process of evolution. He can experience many lives, different animal lives, different species, in base of the level of consciousness and the class. No, maybe at the first you have the elemental classes, after that just intermediate classes, and after that at the university classes. No, for example. And this is a process, and the last step maybe is just to step to be a human, just to live a human experience. This can be a problem sometimes, because there is a space, a gray space between the animal experience and the human experience. When we are transfer your experience from the animal dimension, animal kingdom, to the human kingdom, you can stay in this gray space, and in this moment you can experience a very huge problems, because maybe you have characteristic of the animals, and they are not compatible with the human existence, and in this case you can have many problems like a possession, mind control, and something like that. In these cases, we have a second grade method Grifasi just to manage session, because when you have to manage possession or live portals or mind control, you cannot use the will of the person, the subliminal part, because this will is like it doesn't exist. It exists, of course, but it's like in coma, for example. So you have to understand, you have to use other technique. And in many cases, when a human is at the first experience of a being on Earth, or just the first experience, can have this characteristic of animals, because he's coming from the animal or another extraterrestrial dimension similar to the animal experience. So this is the reason. This is the problem. So what is the problem? What is the cause of this problem? Animal consciousness, collective consciousness, superior intelligence, collective intelligence. What is that? The animal is not intelligent, or the intelligence is very, very small. So it cannot survive if it has to understand the life, how to move in this dimension, in this world, only because of the intelligence. So they need just another intelligence to guide them to live, to do something, just to understand what is a danger, what is not, what do you have to eat, or something. So any animal has an instinct. The instinct is just an instruction, it's just an information. This information is gave from this intelligence, collective consciousness, and there are two way to have this information. The first way is like we have a computer. We can install programs, application in our computer. So all the information is inside a computer, in the hardware. The information is installed in the computer. But another kind of information is just that at the time we require this information, we are connected to the internet, and we can receive input-out information just to elaborate this information with the applications. The same thing happens with animals. They have just a basic information installed in the DNA, and they have a basic instinct to survive. But they need an information in input out at the same time. They need an instruction at that moment for that situation. So in this case, the active collective intelligence is operating on the animal, the individual animal. So To have this kind of characteristics, the animal has to be very open. The animal is a channel or many channels open. And they cannot manage this channel. They just receive information and send information. That's it. They cannot manage, they cannot understand what is happening. They need to have channels open in this way because they need this information. They need another intelligence, another agent, another being, for example. They need to be interfered, for example, but it's not just the right word, just to understand, the similarity. They need a third one to guide them. They are not so developed just to be an individual autonomic in their power. No, they have to develop all this. They are in this process. So when a human is at the first experience of a human, and this human is coming from an experience of animals, maybe the channel are completely open, and this human cannot manage, cannot understand, so can have this characteristic of this animal. So he can receive instruction from another intelligence. He can understand. He can be bipolar. He can be multipolar. He can change his personality. He can act like just an emotional being, just very instinctive, for example, very violent. They cannot use emotion like we humans can use with a mental body just to create sentiments, for example. They just need fear if you need to escape, or just anger if you need to attack something. No, so when we can watch the television in the news, for example, because a man just killed just the wife and the children, for example, and when they interview this man, the man sometimes can say, I don't know what happened. I don't remember anything. My body just moved for another intelligence, another force. I don't understand. Of course, the judge cannot understand, cannot believe in this topic, in this information, of course. But that man can have a very serious problem because of this condition of portal, a live portal. So mind control, etc. Because when a channel is completely open and you cannot control if open or close this channel, you cannot receive all the information that you cannot manage, you cannot understand, you move like a robot. Not only this, you can receive many entities inside. Many entities can get inside and get outside, move inside, possess your body, possess your mind, just to play a game, just to enjoy. That's it. They can have inside in the subliminal part in their space many entities, just to do everything because it's like an animal. The animal need to stay with another guide, a third one, of course, just to move in this ecosystem. But the human no. So this is just a very grease space between the animal mind, the animal world, and the human world. Very, very dangerous for the human, for the man. And that's it. Any questions? Yes, I love my music too. Thank you, Amy. Do you have any questions? No?
Not questions. Katerina.
If I can have a questions, yeah, because I remember that Claudia saw Dauphin too, and the first in the first place she connected with the wild animals, like domestic animals. I had a impression that's coming with the karma and reincarnation, like a dog's, cats. But the first impression I have, it was wild animals. When we connected with this consciousness, animal consciousness, it was interesting. And yes, it's connected to one central.
Okay. There are animals can be domesticated, others no. For example, a lion. No, you cannot domesticate a lion. When the lion is just attacking a deer, for example, I don't know, an animal, the lion is not thinking about poor animal, oh no, I have to eat, no, sorry, but I have to eat. No, it's eating, that's it. As you are eating something, just a piece of bread, that's it. You're enjoying your food, of course. because the emotional of the animal is not so evoluted and not so involucrated with the mind, with the intelligence. Even though if there's a connection with the mental body, the mental body is so small, is so basic that you can understand this emotion. You can not create in this emotion a sentiment, just an emotion. You have to understand if you have to escape or not, or attack. It depends. It's just for your life, or attack or you escape. It depends. So it's very basic. For example, sexuality. In the animals, you cannot talk about sexuality. The animal, in the moment when you have to, at just a right moment to reproduce yourself, you just are feeling this pushing to go to another similar species with you, just do something that you don't understand. You are not understanding what's happening. You finish your relationship, your relation, and that's it. They don't know what happened. They don't know. In the humans, it's completely different. Of course, you can do all the sex and that's it, just to enjoy the sex. But you can put sex into another relationship. You build a relationship. You build a sentiment. You build your life, for example. It's completely different. An animal is so basic, very basic. For example, ants, or I don't know in English what its name, ants or the bees, for example, they have a very social structure, very complex. They have a queen. They have a explorator, operator. They have very rules inside the ecosystem. And just to build just the house, the city, just under the ground or just in the tree, it's completely very complex. So they don't know what is the rule. The queen doesn't know she's the queen. She's just there and is moved because of something that she cannot understand, like we can understand. And the other rules of the other animals, they don't understand. They don't know what is happening. They just do what they feel to do. They are programmed to do. And the social structure works very good, very well, very efficiently. Because another intelligence is programming all of this animal inside the ecosystem, inside the structure. And so we have a question. Amy, my question was on cannibalism of animals. Cannibalism. But are very cruel among themselves. As soon as they see blood, your explanation on our relation with animals and humans is clearly demonstrated. I don't understand the cannibals. We have animals cannibals. For example, the mantis is a cannibal. Or there is a spider, the black, what is in English name, the black widow, something like that.
Yes, the
Yes,
black
yes.
widow.
It's a cannibal, but they don't know they are eating another another being like them. No, they don't know. They just need proteins because they have to reproduce themselves. They need proteins. You are there. You are the male there. You have a body done about proteins. I like proteins. I need proteins. I eat you. That's it. They don't understand there is a life inside the proteins. No, they eat proteins. That's it. For example, in some mantis in the experiments they do in the laboratories, they put, for example, a mantis male, a mantis female in the state in the moment of the reproduction, the fecundation, no, the fertilization. But the female is very good, good fitted. So the female have a lot of food for her. She can eat everything without any problems. Every food is there for her. In this case, the female doesn't kill the male during the fertilization because the proteins or the food she needs just to reproduce, just to make reproduce the life It's there. It's more simple to stay there, just eating there, because it's ready there, and not just to kill a male and eat the male. So in this case, she doesn't kill anyone. So the animal is just looking for proteins. But the animal doesn't know if the protein is alive or not. It's an animal. Like in this moment, the programming inside is telling him, is instruction the animal, eat, you have to eat, you are angry, you have to eat because for your life, for your reproduction, it's your life, you have to do it. We have, we like humans, we have this product, this programming. For example, many people, I see many people in very hard, difficult life because of the economy, because of very hard situation in the life, no? But they reproduce themselves like animals. Two, three, four, five, six children. Oh, wait, stop, slow down. What happened? So if for you, life is so hard. It's impossible to live. It's complete. Every day it's just a war with the world. Why do you are putting in on earth just all the children, for example? Because they feel this instinct to reproduce yourself. You have to reproduce yourself. That's it. Don't think, just act, just do it. So in some culture, they use this instinct, this animal instinct, but they are humans, of course. Anyway, um, another interesting topic about Katerina. You discovered that the domestic animal, is more evolved than the other ones, right? Right, Katerina?
No, it not really that domestic animals are more evaluated because I didn't verify the information.
Okay.
But it was um, when she speak about domestic animals that seem like they are more impacted by karmic load and by relationships with the humans because I this impression that at the beginning for connect with the animal consciousness, Claudia connected the all wild type the animals, and then later then we start speaking about the karma and about the reincarnation. She connected the dog and cats, and I just ask myself if there can be a difference between wild type consciousness in animal and domestic. And
Mhm.
I don't know, because domestic, I think that a human is a creator of a lot of domestic animals,
Yeah, yeah.
and
It's because
I
the
question
domestic
this
animal are
position.
more evolved animals because you can domestic dogs, horses, dolphins, elephants because of their consciousness and intelligence.
Yeah.
For example, Anastasia told me I saw dolphins and cats, just more very high level of consciousness. It's okay. For example, dolphins. You can domesticate dolphin. Dolphin can understand your language. You can communicate with them, and you can do something. And human do shows with dolphins. They are very intelligent. Even though a dolphin just very free in the sea, for example, in the oceans, have a very longer life than the other ones, living with humans. I don't know why. Another thing is very strange about dolphins is they sometimes they go to some some beach just to die. Chances cannot understand why dolphins sometimes just go to a like a group of dolphins, just go to a beach just to stay there, dying. Maybe they don't understand. For example, even though we can uh, try to analyze this in hypnosis, for example, you could do it.
Very interesting. Yes.
I didn't think about it just before the protocol. And cats, for example, cats are not really domestic animals. They are very independent. Maybe they are processing independence, like individuality. So you don't have to. I don't need just to stay to have a dependence. I don't know. I don't want. I cannot depend on another one. humans or another animal, another cat or something. No, I live for myself. If I want, I stay with you just to enjoy some caresses. When I don't want, I go away, and that's it. You have to obey me. If I don't want, you leave me in peace. If I want, you have to caress me. So, like an individual, no, I have to manage my ego. So I recognize myself. So I live for myself. It's just another process. The cat, the horses. The horse is very intelligent. Of course, the horse was used by a human just like a tool to move, no, to travel. If you, for example, if you put an animal, an horse in front of the mirror, the horse immediately recognizes himself to the mirror. The elephant too. The elephant can remove something in his face with the proboscis, with the, I don't know in the English word is the proboscis, no? Proboscis. I don't know. The noise. I don't know. I don't know in English what is. Wait a moment.
I think it's a trumpet.
Trumpet, yes. Trumpet, yes. With the trumpet can remove anything. If they say something, they imagine in the mirror and they see something in the body, they can remove the trumpet. Yes. They recognize themselves in the same moment they are looking at the mirror. Very intelligent. And the elephant, like horses, you can domesticate elephant like horses just to use them like a tool to travel, for example. And what else?
Carlo, now I will go looking. After this live, I'm gonna go look to elephants looking in the mirror. I'm gonna search some videos.
Dolphins too. People do experience with dolphins in the swimming pool with mirror just down the water, and they recognize themselves. So they don't go like a fly just to the crystal bone, just killing himself just because they are thinking there is another world to go. No, they don't understand there is a crystal. So in dolphins understand a crystal, they understand a mirror, and they can understand the image in the mirror of themselves, of course. So animals is just at the first step of the evolution of the individuality. So animals need a collective intelligence, a superior intelligence just to survive. When they, species by species, can understand they are an individuality, they have to manage, they will understand this individuality. They have to understand they are an intelligence, they are an individuality, it's not something they have to understand they are individuality. So this is the process, species by species. And the last step is just to jump from the animal kingdom to the human kingdom. This is the process, more or less. This is the process. So the animal need the collective intelligence, the collective consciousness. Humans, no. Even though we do this work, because many humans, the majority of the humans are interfered because they are connected to other third parts, like animals are connected to this intelligence, to this other consciousness, other information, other beings. And now we are combat to this interference just because we need to understand completely we are power. We are an individuality, and we are not only an individuality. We are an individuality, but into an ecosystem with other individualities, and we have to understand how to communicate and living with the other communicate. So we can be an individuality, but at the same time a collective group. When we understand this, so we are free. When we create a connection with other third parts, in the first step we are creating interference and we suffering about this interference. In the other step we are creating interaction, so it's different. We are not suffering about it. We are completely aware about everything we are doing, and we want, of course. So, first step, animals. We are a group. We are not an individuality, but like an individuality, we need a guide. We need an intelligence, external intelligence, to live, to survive. Okay. In base of the species, we connect with ourselves to understand we are individuality. So the last steps of the animal kingdom is like a dog, an horse, an elephant, a dolphin, etc., a cat. And after that, boom, jump to be a human. And when you jump in a human, you have to start another travel, a very hard travel. First of all, are you in the gray space? Complicated. Okay, you are out of the green space. Okay, you now have to manage your ego. It's not simple. You are the victim of your ego. And you have to understand what is your ego, what is your individuality. When you understand this, you can understand how to move in the collectivity. Because when you see only yourself, only your ego, of course, you cannot connect with the other ones in the best way. Because you are thinking only by yourself, for yourself. So everything is by steps. And we resort with this work, with the hypnosis, regressive hypnosis, we are working for men in the grid space, second grade, Grifasi method. Intermediate state, they are victim of the ego, not the extraterrestrial beings. The ego is the cause. The extraterrestrial being, the interference is just the consequence. They don't need to understand this. They have to switch the point of view. And third level, when you are free and you don't produce interference, but just interaction. That's the path. I don't know if we have questions. We have a question. So, or a comment. My cats understand what I'm telling them. They are interesting teachers. And he continues. I heard the tale the animals who letting people come close to them. Next life, most likely to reincarnate as humans. I heard the tale the animals who letting people come close to them. It's better to not generalize. It's better just to analyze the case by case, because you can produce a very suffering in many animals that they don't understand the relation with humans. For example, if you live with a bird in your house, for example, you put your bed when the bird is a very small bird, so the bird can understand you are the mother or the father, so the bird can stay with you. She doesn't fly away; she shall stay with you. But in the moment, this bird, an adult bird, is free because I don't know, you travel away and you leave your bird there, just living in the nature. The bird is going to die because he cannot do what happened. He cannot have just the right programmation to live in the correct way. His consciousness is projected to live. So they need to understand. They need to understand the animal consciousness, the superior intelligence. When an animal is living with a human, and the human is the guide, and the animal is programming himself with a human guide, and after that, the human guy just disappears, for example, and they have to stay with other animals in this ecosystem, in this new ecosystem for them. They are going to life. They don't understand the communication with the other consciousness. It's very complicated. So in many cases, just to domesticate some animals it's just an interference. We are interfering with the animals, and the animals are not in the right process to set themselves free in this process. They are in a process. They get slow in this process. That's it. Just it's another turn to in this experience. They have to reincarnate it again, just to repeat the experience in the correct way. Other animals, of course, with another level of consciousness and intelligence. Intelligence is just a consequence of the consciousness, of course. In some ways, they can be domesticated. Of course, they can do. They cannot live outside the humans' world. They can live only the humans, yeah, of course. So it's just different. This process is different. The dog is living with a human since millions of years. So there's a connection, a very
Yes.
strong connection with humans.
Yes.
Joanna,
Carlo, do you have animals? Do you have a cat or a dog?
no, I don't have any animals, but my sister had a dog when we live in the same house with
Okay.
our parents. And for example, my sister humanized too much this dog. Yes, because she think that the dog was a human like her. So yes. So for example, the dog was pissing in the house. No, I tried to make him understand that it's not the correct way to do it. In that moment, my sister, no, 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 my dog, no. He carries the dog. No, it's my dog. No, don't be upset with him. No, 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 it's my dog. So the dog, in 14 or 15 years of life, every day pisses under the bed of my sister because he has to sign just the territory. This is my territory. It's just the bed of my sister bed. And for 14 or 50 years, my sister was cleaning the piss of the dog every day. And she never understood that the animal is an animal, not a human. You cannot treat an animal like a human. For example, my father was cared about this dog when the dog was eating. No, he telling me you have to leave the dog alone when the dog is eating because the dog can beat you. No, you have to educate the dog. You are the owner. He never have to think to beat you. So what I do with this dog when the dog just was eating, sometimes I went to the dog and I just took the the food from the dog mouth, and the dog just leaving me just to take the food in my hand. After that, the dog just was look at me, waiting for my permission. When I allow it to hit, the dog uh, was eating. And with other members of the family, the dog, no. The dog was try to beat them in his cases, or just to laugh at them, etc. But not with me, because I knew that I have to program the dog inside the dog consciousness. The dog, see, yes, it's intelligent, but not like a human. The dog cannot understand what you think. What is the mistake? We know that we cannot understand the esoteric world if we think at the same point of view, like we understand the physical world, because the rules are completely different. So when you have to interact with an animal, with a dog, you have to understand. You have to get inside the world, the mind, the consciousness of the dog. You cannot think that the dog is thinking the same thing or is understanding the world like you, human. So you have to use another language, another vision. You have to get inside that world, and with your intelligence, with your superior intelligence, you have to get lower at the same level of the consciousness animal. So the animal would understand. I'm the owner. Okay, the owner is untouchable. Perfect. That's it. Have to piss in my owner's bed? No, because my owner is getting upset with me. So no, perfect. When I have to piss, when my owner is allowing me to piss, when my owner is getting me outside to get a walk. If I have a good boy, my owner is getting with me just a walk. If not, no, I have to wait. And I have to wait without pissing everywhere. Wait with my piss inside. That's it. That's it. It's the language, basic language. I don't have a dog. I don't have an animal right now because I know in this moment I cannot give my animal the right environment to live because I live
Exactly.
in an apartment, in a very little apartment right now. Maybe if one time I can have just a garden, a big space where to live, maybe a dog. I can have a dog. I have to have the time to live with my dog, for example,
Yeah.
just to get a walk or something like that. If not, because I don't have time right now to do many things, I don't have
Mhm.
time to get my work outside. So just for this, but I love to have an animal, a dog or a cat. I love it, or just um, a parrot, for example. A parrot, yeah, yeah. Why not? Yes,
They are very nice, yes. But what do you think about whales from the seas?
whales, very
Yes,
intelligent. Yes,
yes.
very intelligent.
We don't know much about them because they're not like dolphins, for example, to see, to make shows for us. But still, I have the feeling that whales are somehow here to modulate some frequencies or to insert, to ingrain some frequencies on Earth. They are very big animals, and I don't know, gives me this impression of something really special in them as a frequency.
Mhm. You have a dog, right, Claudia?
Yes, I have because I saved her from the forest, from the wild. Otherwise,
Mhm.
I would not have because I didn't want to have her in an apartment, as you said. But she was dying there. She was eating insects and spiders and bugs. She was extremely thin, extremely slim. So I took her and she's mine now. But
What
very
is
nice, as you said.
what's the relation you have with your dog?
Oh, great. She's incredible. I would say she's like a, I don't know, illuminated dog. So nice, so quiet. She's obeying me 100%. We go together. She's like a human. It's incredible. I never had such a noble dog, such an elevated dog as a consciousness. She's incredible. Only sometimes snoring during lives. But no, she's really nice. I never had a better relation with a dog before,
Mhm.
like I have with her. Maybe sometimes I say maybe I deserve to have such a dog because I'm also more mature now. Yeah,
You,
interesting.
Joanna, you have animals?
I have two cats.
Cats.
One is more illuminated than the other one, but I love them both.
Okay, and you, Katerina?
I have two dogs, but
Dog.
they change behavior
Uh-huh.
after my session.
Ah, I see.
Before my session was perfect. After my session, now she cannot see each other. I try do a session. I know that I must be like position myself like a owner and be like it's me who decide, but I cannot do that. It's so much energy, like be still here, no, sit, and you must obey. And then it's but I try, I do a work, I start to do a work, and it's work better now, but it's still like they are not calculating me so much.
Considerating you.
Yeah, but I know I must be just like a more present, like a more. It's like with my life, I must be more focused on my life, more present, and decided. Yes, I want that. It's not like about I want that, and the other day, no, I know I'm not sure. It's still about us, I think, and the
Yes.
animal feel it.
Yes.
If
They're
you
like a
do,
mirror.
you must take a place. If you don't, someone take it for you. That's all. That's it.
Mhm. And you, Anastasia, you have animals?
Two cats,
Two
but
cats
I
too.
grew up with a dog.
Ah,
I
I have
had
good
them
dog.
all.
And just a question: you have cats, you, Joanna and Anastasia. Do you have cats just living all the time in your house, or you leave the window open, for example, just to get them just to stay outside all the time they want, etc.?
So I live in an apartment, and I built with my own hands, sweat, and tears. I built for my cats a catio. It's called a catio. It's a balcony for cats. I bought wood and I cut the wood and I sealed
Mhm.
the wood, and it's like a cage. It's a
Mhm.
cage. Okay. Catio is
So
the
they
polite word.
so they live out indoor always, no?
Indoor, and they have the balcony, but they're
But just the
born.
balcony, just not nature, no? The
No,
infinite of the
they were
nature, just the balcony.
born free, but they came by themselves into my family. They didn't came to me first, they came into my family, but my family's gone, so I took them as a legacy. And and yeah, I live in an apartment, so.
Yeah.
But one day I promised them that we will have a garden, and they would run in the garden.
Mhm. Good. And
Yeah.
yours, Anastasia?
They have the same kids. Actually.
We have the same cats.
The same kids, just at home all the time, no?
Yeah.
But I'm asking that because when you leave your cat free, for example, just to go out, for example, Carmen Dudu, is a cat. A cat can stay just 1 day, 2 days outside, and after that just to come back in the house. No? And sometimes they can bring you a gift from outside. You know?
Yes.
Yes, just a little mouse, just a little lizard, and just to share with you their food. For them, it's a gift. See, you have to appreciate it. For example, because it's a gift. So I kiss my food for you, and I bring for you this food. It's for you. And so it's
And
incredible.
you
The cat.
have to eat it. You have to eat it.
Yes, you have to eat, of course, you have to eat the mouse with him, of course, at the same time.
Yes. Very nice
Uh,
topic.
we have 5 minutes. So I want to show just an image very hard. Not because I want to show something very hard, just because I want to show the basic emotion of animals. They are not thinking about emotions, love, or sorries, or no. They are thinking about proteins, fat. They need fat to live. They need proteins to live. So it's just an eagle or an oak that just captured just a mouse. It just puts it in this mouse just in front of cam and cam on a radar or in the freeway, no? In the freeway, there are cams just to get the cars, just in front of the cars, just to you can see everything in all the way. This oak is eating all the mouse without leaving anything. Let me just 1 minute, YouTube, and oak, and it's in front of camera. Okay, I find it. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Just a moment. Moment.
The body pod lets you easily understand what is the fastest way.
Okay, so present, share screen. Okay, let's go. So the mouse is alive, eh? It's still alive. Dead.
That, yes.
Yeah.
From fear.
No, without head.
Ah.
Yeah, it's ate the head completely. There is no mercy. There is no emotion. Just proteins. Just
Yes.
survivor. Just to feed the body. a little more faster. Good entrecote, huh? Okay, cleaning himself, of course, and that's it. This is the animal consciousness of the oak. Okay, play speed 1, normal. Okay, so thank you very much to stay here. We are questions. Wait a moment.
These are the craziest animal encounters.
What?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Another video. Sorry, another video. Like animals. So nuggets, yes, nuggets, of course. I seen maybe swallow a robin once. Yes, and they bring food as a gift. Yes, the cats, of course, and they bring a Dora's gift. Okay, okay. So thank you very much. I see you next week. Joanna, you are just later on the Romanian Live. Yeah.
I'm spending my afternoon with you.
Oh, great! Thank you very much for your gift.
Thank you. And yes, next week I'll be here too.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you,
Thank you.
Anastasia, Katerina.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.